All right, it's Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. We had rain last night, which is always good. Um, I had epoxied these the other day, and then I sprayed them with the silver wheel paint, which was too silver. And so I went and got some of the graphite one, and I think they look much better. They're not all shiny and silvery. And then went to Harbor Freight and got a tubing bender and a reamer. I've got the brake line kit over there, which will be the feeds that go here and connect to him. Let's see, I also rebuilt the parking brakes. There's a ratcheting mechanism inside of here. Actually, it's oriented this way. And they rust out pretty commonly. These were perfectly fine, no rust at all, maybe a little bit of surface rust on the parts. So I wire brushed them with a brass brush and got them all nice and shiny, and then coated them with the shark hide, so they should be good. I got the new springs and the clips. I also shark hided the bolts, and then I put I got this silicone brake system grease that uses ceramics for the lubricant. The grease won't melt until it gets to 3,000 degrees, and if it's at 3,000 degrees, we got bigger problems. So all this stuff moves nice now. I'm not going to do that too hard because it'll ratchet and get tight, which we don't want to do yet. So these are all shark hided. I shark hided these and these. You know, the I don't know if these stampings are replacement stampings or plated, or you know, it's just bare steel. But now they're coated. So you do the initial adjustment with this big screw, and I rebuilt these things like multiple times because I got the brake pads backwards. They have a bevel on them the first time, and before you move them around, you have to get this screw, or before you put this cap back on, you have to get this screw into the, it's a drum with teeth in it that goes around like a gear. This screws into that, and then as it ratchets, the drum turns, which tightens the screw, which puts more pressure on the pads. And if you don't get the screw in before you put this on, then when you try to put the screw in, the drum moves around and falls out. So it's all got that silicone grease inside there, so it should be good for a long time. That's where we are. Let's see. Also, I need to bend these tabs up to lock these in. But I put that grease on the pins because the threads for these are actually here at the top, thread into this material, and then it's just a straight pin all the way through. So I put the grease on there too to make sure that these things can flex easy. So the next thing I think I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to put the cage on, because the cage, you know, the big cage, everything else kind of mounts off of that, and I really want to get these A-arms or fulcrums or whatever they're called mounted up, because I got all these parts laid out on the floor and we keep kicking them. This is supposed to be like a real pain in the ass because you've got washers and seals, the seals that are held inside of these two washers with another washer, and then this, and then the cage, and then more washers and seals. So it's really kind of a big mess. But I do want to get all that crap up off the floor. All right, there's the cover on. The way you can tell the front from the back is there's these brackets. Not sure why. And then there's the nuts, captive nuts that hold the assembly for the parking brake mechanism hanging off there. So here you can see we have to get that assemblage of washers and seals and bolts and stuff, oh my, in here. And then again over here, do that on the other side too. Looks like it's gonna be a real pain in the ass. The book says to put dummy shafts, which I got a 1/2 inch dowel to be my dummy shaft. And you put all the stuff on the fulcrum arm with the dummy shaft holding it all together. And then you push it up, get it in, and then when you hammer the axle through there, it pushes the dummy shafts out. At least that's the theory. You can see there's blue dust from Derek's painting on it, but that'll all come off. All right, I got a shock assembled. Use the brake discs trick again, and only had to do it twice. But the next one I need to make sure that I have the ends lined up, because now that they're under tension, they don't really want to turn very much. So on to 3 more. All right, number 2 was drama free. The key I found is this ring. Sits in the end, and it's as you're tightening down the nuts, you got to make sure that that stays centered, because if it gets if the brake rotor slides off of it a little bit, then you're screwed. All right, all 4 shocks are done. I did straighten out the first one that I did to get the eyes pointed in the same direction. I used the axles for the A-arms, and they fit perfectly, 5/8. So boom, boom, turn it without any problem. One of my rods, the bolt, the nut that I was using to drive up and down, one of them ended up binding up to the rod, so it's kind of shot. So if anybody sees this in the future and wants to do it, I wouldn't use 1/4 inch. I'd go up to 5/16 or 3/8, because I think it'll be stronger. I think the 1/4 inch was borderline. Well, you know, you want to run out of gas as you cross the finish line, and it ran out of gas as we crossed the finish line. So I think that's a win. let's see, that's slightly bolted on, and so what I will probably do is put, I got new brake pads, so I'll put those in, and then I will probably go ahead and see what I can do with building up these A-arms with the profusion of pieces. I expect I will probably have to get Derek to help me out, which he did with the parking brake, which was actually a real pain in the ass to get on, but I don't know how you do it by yourself. But the two of us going, we got it done. So got to call it a win. Got to call it a win.